Good morning. Beautiful morning in Seattle. See the bright sun coming through the window there. It's been raining for a couple of days. It's nice today. So, help me with our affirmation. Together, in one spirit, we see God everywhere, in everyone, and in everything. Thank you so much. Let's take a moment right now just to think about and consider what's the good news? What's the good news that you have? The good news that you have that you might share with someone today. Birthday, anniversary, any other news of good report. What's the good news? Probably won't find it on CNN. You could. You could find something there. Well, let's get quiet and do this meditation. Just relax right where you're at. Relax, release, and let go. Focus on the breath. Don't try to change it. Just notice how it works. And as you breathe in, you're filled. And as you breathe out, just naturally relax. The conflicted mind is difficult to perceive our own best interests. Split mind, conflicted goals, reconciled in the unifying love of the common welfare. Sometimes, most of the time, we do not perceive our own best interests. Every situation that arises is confusing. It's difficult to realize an outcome that will really make us happy. So we are without a guide to appropriate action. Because we're judging falsely, we have no way to see a proper result. Perception continues to determine how we interpret every situation. And perception is centered in the past. Perception is wrong. So it is inevitable that what we choose does not often serve our own best interests. But once we realize that it is difficult for us to see our own best interests, we can learn. We can learn. We can be taught. So just take a moment right now. Consider this idea. I do not perceive my own best interests. I do not perceive my own best interests. And then, with eyes closed, search the mind for a moment for unresolved situations with which you are currently concerned. And any unresolved issues in the mind. And then think about what you want. What do you want concerning this unresolved issue? And think about all the possibilities that arise. Quickly you realize that you have a number of goals in mind. That these goals are on different levels and they often conflict. There's a way out of this. Just say to yourself, in the situation involving blank, I would like this thing or that thing to happen. I would like blank to happen. The situation involving my relationship, I would like this outcome or that outcome. And just try to cover as many kinds of outcomes as may honestly occur to you, even if some of them do not appear to be directly related to the situation. In the situation involving my job, I would like this or that to happen. Oh, and soon we see that we're making a large number of demands on the situation which have absolutely nothing to do with it. We recognize that many of our goals are contradictory, no unified outcome in mind. And so therefore we are setting ourselves up for disappointment on some level. Maybe continue this exercise throughout the day, saying, I do not perceive my own best interest in this situation. Whatever comes up. And ask then. Ask Spirit. Ask the inner guide. Ask your Buddha nature, your Christ consciousness. What is my best interest in this situation? In the situation concerning my relationship, what is my best interest? So, you may want to do that throughout the day. We ask for guidance from this power greater than ourselves, this Holy Spirit, if you like, Spirit of recovery, if that feels better, but the inner teacher, because we need to make decisions. We need to decide what to do and when to do it. We need to make a decision for good. Very interesting that when we decide for the common welfare, it seems as if all the conflicts fall away. If we have a little bit of willingness to do our part, we have some mindfulness that we have a part to play in creation, and to realize that our ambitions and goals, our hopes and aspirations are all just hints at the part that we have to play. The desires of the heart are direct instructions from Spirit. Our talents and abilities are blueprints of the world that we are to help create. So it's very important that we put first things first. We remember that we are part of a larger organism, and that the common welfare is the first thing. You could say put God first, but God is, especially in this regard, just the unity of all life. And so putting first things first, we put the concerns of the larger organism into first place. And we give service to the larger, knowing that all are benefited, knowing that we're benefited, knowing that all are benefited. We focus on the heart's desires and then watch as these desires come true. We decide to be ourselves, honestly. We decide to be ourselves and to be that which we were designed to be. We set aside fear and apprehension. No need to dissemble. No need to deceive. We just become real. We're able to pick up a sort of single-mindedness. The small self has all sorts of conflicting goals, as we saw in the meditation. Contradictory, conflicting goals. We could just release the small self for a moment, to remain mindful and aware that the small self is continually trying to control outcomes because it's afraid. And this need to control outcomes actually frustrates our ability to achieve that which we really want. We have to be able to let things flow and say, we can say, yes, this is what I want, but this or something better as it unfolds. Actually, we cannot successfully serve two goals at a time. We must be single-minded to achieve our goals, to play out our roles, to achieve our goals. Single-mindedness means focused on God, the unity of all life, focused on the good that comes from that unity. Single-mindedness means not focusing on money or material things, but rather on the principle of abundance that lies behind them. To release any desire to have, to own, and seek rather to participate in creation. The indwelling Spirit knows what we need and will provide it, but only if we focus on Spirit. The creative power within us can produce money and material things, but we find them unfulfilling, and life becomes a continual cycle of wanting and getting and wanting again. And so instead of looking for what we can get, we consider giving what is ours. And then more will automatically come our way. This is reality. So the reality of life, of an interconnected life, of being a part of the web of life. This is the truth. That when we become mindful of the fact that we are part of this larger organisms, we are able to live beyond the limitations of the ego. We are able to get in touch with our hearts, and it just takes a moment to be mindful that there is already this strong connection between the heart and the brain. There's a conduit of spirit that allows us to use both of these great faculties in concert with each other. We can allow our feeling nature to be wed to our thinking nature. As this is where the truth of life is found. When the male and female parts of us come together in harmony. As we allow this harmonious consciousness to work through us, goodwill becomes our own true will for ourselves. As long as we keep contact with the larger self that is greater than this small little ego mind, we get a good sense of the truth of things. We're on a path. We're on a path of mindfulness, and this path leads us to empathy, understanding, and love, and it provides a direction for our lives. Let's decide for this path. Whatever our tasks of the day may be, let us be aware that we have chosen a direction and that we are here to discern and then apply that which is most helpful in any situation. We are moving in a direction of enlightenment. And we observe the obstacles on the path, and then we're able to go through, over, or around them. We notice and release any thoughts or feelings that distract us from the course. We decide to stay on course, on path. We let go of hurtful behaviors. We seek positive change that will allow us to focus on our ultimate goal. And we remember that service to the common welfare is the best service we can give to ourselves. Every person we meet on this path is precious. Each person, each living thing is priceless. Being mindful, we are committed to seeing this great value in every part of life. We see each person as equal. We see every living thing as precious. And using loving kindness, we extend our good wishes outward. Visualizing those close to us, those we feel neutral to, and those we are presently at odds with. In that order, we say, may you be happy. May you be at peace. May you be free from suffering. And we extend those thoughts out to the entire web of life, saying, may all life everywhere be happy. May all life everywhere be at peace, and may all life everywhere be free of suffering. So start now. Just visualize someone who you care for, someone you feel very close to. And say to them in your mind, say, may you be happy. May you be at peace. May you be free from suffering. And then think of someone who you really don't have much of an opinion about. You may see them from time to time, but really your feelings toward them are quite neutral. See them now standing before you and say, may you be happy. May you be at peace. May you be free from suffering. Oh, that person that you're having a problem with. Someone you may have unresolved issues with. Someone who, when you see them coming, you want to go the other way, hoping against hope that they don't see you, that they don't notice you. See them now in your mind. Take a breath and say, may you be happy. May you be at peace. May you be free from suffering. And in this way, we cultivate our sense of the connection to all life, not just the people, but all living things. We stay aware of our responsibility to the whole, to the larger community, to the larger organism. We have this great and grand potential. We're pursuing a destiny, not predestination, but the destiny of realized potential. Being mindful, we begin to sense the presence of powers and abilities that will lead us to greater fulfillment. And as we move toward the achievement of our purpose, we become better examples for others to follow. This in itself is a great service. Leaders inspire others to the extent that they are willing to reach out into the future, to the extent that they can embrace values, vision. Mindfulness allows us to stand firmly in this moment, reach out into the future with vision, becoming magnets which pull us all forward. We become agents of change, change for the good. We draw people of like mind to us. We're teaching. We're learning and teaching. We are student and teacher. All are both student and teacher. And through the awareness that mindfulness practice brings us, we learn to teach. We become able to use this ability for the good of all. We become agents of change. We really can rebuild the political landscape. I know it seems almost hopeless, but we can become involved in designing a new economic model in which the common welfare becomes the number one priority. We are individual strands in the weaving of a new social fabric. We can change the nature of education, teaching people to become that which they really are. The building blocks of shared life. That's what we seek. We are not just for ourselves, but for the good of all. Let us go forward this week and immerse ourselves in the river of life, flowing in the direction of our talents and abilities, not fighting the currents of our uniqueness. In this river, the gifts of the individuals come together to join with the greater gifts of oneness, and every living thing benefits. Thank you. God bless. much, Dad.